Red Eye, I'm Greg Gutfeld, MC for this year's Houseboys on Ice, a seasonal spectacle involving houseboys and, well, ice. If you're thinking of attending, try coming early before they start to thaw. Let's go to TV's Andy Levy for our pregame report. Andy, what's coming up on tonight's show?
Thanks, Greg, and here we go again, America. Our top story tonight, GOP presidential hopeful Herman Cain says all the sexual harassment accusations against him are completely baseless. We'll investigate whether he just needs to turn down the treble a bit. Plus, budget airline Ryanair considers launching a pay-per-view pornography service for its passengers. It's sad, lonely passengers. And finally, Bill Clinton thinks presidents should be allowed to serve more than 2 terms, but refuses to say whether that should include foreign-born ones. Greg?
Thank you, Andy.
Happy Dunce Day, Greg.
Here we go.
What?
Let me guess, this is where you make some reference to me being stupid.
No, Greg. My plan was to tell an interesting story about where the word dunce comes from.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Seriously, the word dunce comes from the name of a Scottish philosopher and theologian named John Duns Scotus.
Yep, right.
No, it's true. His views eventually fell out of favor, and his name Duns, now transformed into dunce, became synonymous with idiot.
Seriously?
Yeah, and in fact, Duns believed that wearing a conical hat helped increase knowledge, which is why we now have the pointy dunce cap.
Well, Andy, I have to say, I thought you were just going to make fun of me, but that's actually pretty interesting.
See? Told you.
I wonder why I've never heard that story before.
Maybe because you're a dunce.
What was that?
Nothing, Greg. Happy Dunce Day.
Let's welcome our guests. Well, she's cuter than a Care Bear, tap dancing in a dollhouse made of puppies. I'm here tonight with Fox News Channel anchor Patty Ann Brown. Check out her boots. And he's so sharp, he can chop wood with his thoughts. I'd like to welcome a first-time guest. He's Larry O'Connor, Breitbart.tv editor-in-chief. And failure reeks of him. It's my repulsive sidekick, Bill Schultz. And he's so bright, the sun is told not to stare directly at him. It's Tucker Carlson, Fox News contributor and editor-in-chief of The Daily Caller. And he's a total fake who should drown in a lake. It's our New York Times correspondent. Good to see you again, Pinch.
The Times Italia Bureau intends to report that Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi will be resigning very soon. A little advice for the Prime Minister. I più facile sarà per voi per curiosi, ogni sorta di senza, guidosa da stampa mal o maso la vita. Loosely translated, that's the sooner you resign, the easier it will be for you to acquire all manner of boobies without judgment from the evil press or unwashed masses. Ciao.
I didn't know you were bilingual.
Oh, I'm trilingual.
Really?
In the sense that I'll try any language, but stick with English.
Oh, yes. He used oppressor to addresser. Herman Cain took accusations of sexual harassment head-on at a Phoenix press conference, aren't they all? Tuesday afternoon regarding Monday's Sharon Bialik, Gloria Allred freak show. I wonder if he tried to remember if he recognized her and didn't.
I tried to remember if I recognized her, and I didn't. I tried to remember if I remembered that name, and I didn't. The charges and the accusations I absolutely reject. They simply didn't happen.
Not enough flags there. And might he wonder, could these anonymous allegations be false? And perhaps the Democrat machine in America has brought forth a troubled woman to make accusations.
The fact is, these anonymous allegations are false, and now the Democrat machine in America has brought forth a troubled woman to make false accusations.
Anyway, is this becoming a game of harassment whack-a-mole for Cain? Probably, now that a 5th accuser has popped up. She's Donna Donella, a former employee of a government agency who alleges that in 2002... What, did I say her name wrong?
No, it's just a funny name. Donna Donella.
That's a pretend
It's a great name. Anyway, roll that down. I lost my track. She alleges that in 2002, following a speech Cain made in Egypt, he asked her, quote, "Could you put me in touch with that lovely young lady who asked me the question so I can give her a more thorough answer over dinner?" When Donna said she didn't wanna and suggested a group dinner, instead, Cain agreed, ordered $400 worth of wine, and then stuck her with the bill. Gotta admire that. Anyway, during the press conference, one thing Herman Cain left no doubt about was what Herman Cain thinks about the whole mess.
Well, a businessman by the name of Herman Cain stepped forward. Here I am. I can't tell you what that motivation is other than it's to stop Herman Cain. Some people don't want to see Herman Cain get the Republican nomination, and some people don't want Herman Cain to become president of the United States of America. But you see, that's one thing about Herman Cain that I think a lot of the American people know, because that's the person Herman Cain is.
So, Tucker, Greg Gutfeld wants to know what's your grade? What did he do? I thought he did a pretty good job.
This is, come on. Could we just stop pretending?
Okay.
He's not, I mean, I like the whole Fidel Castro third person thing. I don't know what happened with these women, the he said, she said, she said, she said thing. He's not qualified to be president, and we're all pretending that he is. He's a nice guy. I know him. I like him. I think he's a great guy. He'd be a much better president than the current president. But he can't explain his own economic plan.
But isn't that all we need?
No, but come on.
Isn't that all we need? Somebody better than Obama?
Yeah, but presumably there are people much better than Obama, okay? No, we all have to sit and pretend like, oh, Herman Cain would be a great president. The truth is, he'd be a great a lot of things, but he's not qualified to be president, and we've had to pretend that he is. And I wish we could just stop and acknowledge this is a really serious election. It's a crummy selection, perhaps, but there's got to be someone who understands the issues better than Herman Cain.
You made me think I should coin this as a he said, they said.
He said, they said.
I don't think anybody said that yet. There hasn't, no one said that yet.
Trademark that.
They said. I'm going to trademark that. Maybe I'll make a couple of T-shirts, halvesy shirts, sleeveless, and I'll wear them when I work out. Larry, welcome to the show. What do you make of this whole mess? It seems to be helping Mr. Cain. He's made $2.5 million in the last week or so.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's getting more airtime, that's for sure.
Yes.
I think that Newt Gingrich is kind of kicking himself right now, thinking, geez, if only I'd have played it smoother. Here's what I think. First of all, I do love the fact that earlier today on Fox News, Niger Innes said that he's outraged by the media going after this fearsome mandingo sexuality of Herman Cain. And I don't have a lot to add, but I just like saying mandingo.
I remember that. I saw that movie in the 70s. I don't have any memory of it, except that I really liked it. It was who was in that movie?
I don't know, but it was Mandingo, Tucker.
Don't you remember
Mandingo.
Is Mandingo just Aussie costume play?
Is what?
Is a Mandingo just Aussie costume play?
No, you're thinking-
I went to an
dog
Outback
and,
and in a bathroom. Oh, never mind.
Mandingo.
Okay, sorry.
PAB, let's get back to the point.
Sorry.
This woman...
You throw Mandingo out there, and I'm going to take it right off track.
All right.
Call me Manny.
Come on. PAB, this woman filed for bankruptcy twice. Does that matter? She's been like in court more times than a bailiff. She's been like, I think, defending 6 lawsuits, I guess. I don't know. Does that matter in this case?
You know, it starts to add up. You know, Cain referred to her as a troubled woman, and the more we hear about her, the more that seems to be the case. And we don't have all the facts, and I'm not saying that her accusations are not true. But this whole business of her going to see him speak a month ago at this Tea Party conference in Chicago, and this other woman who we had on Fox earlier said she was determined to meet him. She kept saying, when is he coming? When he arrived, she jockeyed for position. She got up to him. She hugged him. She grabbed his arm. She whispered in his ear. She just talked to him for a while. There was nothing negative about it. She turned around and, you know, this woman said, how do you know her? And Bialik said, oh, you know, we met years ago. My boyfriend and I went to an after party at his hotel. She didn't say he's a creep.
Yeah.
It's more like, it was almost like she was stalking him.
Okay, but wait a second. I mean, I covered the Monica thing for a year, and more than a year, and I watched this unfold in pretty much the same way, but with the parties reversed. It wasn't a hurricane.
It was a storm of some kind.
And almost every accuser in the Monica story and all the stories clustered around it had a lot of personal problems. Look, I don't know if any of this is true, but the instinct to go after the chick directly and say she's had bank. Okay, fine. Who cares? Who cares if Gloria Allred's a creep? Of course she's a creep. Are the charges true?
Right.
Did Cain satisfactorily answer the questions? I don't think he did. Did you upgrade her hotel or didn't you? It's pretty simple.
And also the politics here. I mean, you say that he's not qualified to be president. Even more importantly, he's not running for president right now. He's running for the opportunity to run against Obama.
But there's going to be an election in like 20 minutes.
No, I know that. And his team has fallen apart here. And don't they understand? They sent out this release saying that she's had all these financial troubles. Don't they realize the optics of that? They're basically saying, who are you going to believe? That poor woman who has financial problems or me?
And I like the guy a lot, but can you imagine imagine, given his behavior in the last week, can you imagine running the executive branch of government? I mean, can we just be honest or no? I mean,
Yeah,
seriously.
you could be. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Can you imagine that?
No,
And also, do
I
we-
kind of can, but
Do we
maybe I
really?
can't.
Let's cut to brass tacks here. If we're going to stop pretending, do we really think that this guy is going to be a better president than the current one?
Yeah, we do.
May I finish?
Absolutely.
The current one got us out of Afghanistan, got us out of Iraq.
We're not out of Iraq.
He's killing. We're absolutely out of
We're gonna
Iraq.
lose Iraq.
All right.
Go ahead.
Well, we're absolutely out of Iraq. We are on our way to being out of Iraq. We have killed Osama. We have killed Gaddafi. This guy doesn't know where those places are or who those people are. We've seen his foreign policy.
I think you'd be a better president than our current president.
I do it,
Yes.
although I don't have a flag lapel. My other point, you're absolutely right. There were a lot of flags there, and I get that he likes America. We saw his lapel, but can we stop with patriotism when we're talking about another P word? It's inappropriate. It's inappropriate.
I'm not even
I just
gonna
want to
ask.
go back and say for a second
Yeah.
that I was not trying to smear the
I didn't think you
accuser
were.
here, but I do think it's relevant the fact that she went to see him speak, and apparently after she cornered him and hugged him and had this chat with him, she stood there and watched his speech. And to me, that does kind of go to, that doesn't seem like this kind of way you'd behave if this man had sexually assaulted you.
But why
and
would
what
she give
she's
a press
talking
conference
about
in
is
the first place?
assault.
Clearly, there's something wrong with her. You wouldn't be on stage with Gloria Allred. She's
Yeah.
obviously a wounded, weird person. I'm not saying she's not. I'm
Right.
just saying that's not the point.
Right.
It's just not the point.
The fact that she was on more morning shows today than Yo Gabba Gabba cast, I mean, I think that tells you that she's obviously looking for the cameras. In fact, the fact that he said that he doesn't remember who she is, don't you think that cuts deepest of all?
Ugh.
Well,
That hurt her bad.
But also, that's kind of strange since he apparently, there are several witnesses that they did hug and talk at this
yeah, but
event.
Can I put in? I don't remember much of anything before 2004.
This was a month ago.
I think he may have
Case in point.
He may have thought that she was the manicurist from Legally Blonde, and so that's where he got confused.
All right, I want to move on because this story to me is far more important and more. A lot of people, you were expecting a laugh from the Legally Blonde show. You should have gotten it, but you know what? I guess we were just so tired of the topic.
Tough room. It was really tough room.